Going on, everybody? My D2 here, and today I just wanted to kind of create another one of the videos I know you've seen about a billion times about how, oh, Bungie sucks. The direction the game is going sucks. I get it. Everybody's heard it before, but I kind of want to share my piece on it because I'm someone who doesn't particularly focus on one area of the game. I kind of play all sides. I like to do day one contest raids, low mans, things like that. I also like to play PvP. Believe it or not, before I got into PvE hardcore stuff, I used to be a PvP main, and I always loved PvP, loved doing trials, all that kind of stuff. I did the same in D1. I did raids and I did trials every weekend. I was on the grind. And as of late, with everything going on, it feels like Bungie doesn't. I don't want to say they don't have a clear vision, because the vision they have is one that does not benefit anybody in the long term, I don't think. But they're kind of tone deaf, and what I mean by that is, there's not a whole lot for people who grind the game out, people who have thousands of hours in the game. There's nothing enjoyable for them to do outside of your day one raid or doing trials that weekend. And even then, the trials population is dwindling. PvP is a mess because of the whole loose skill based matchmaking, where depending on how good you might actually be, you're fighting $1 million tournaments every time you load into a control match. I experienced that firsthand. Um, and if you don't want to deal with skill-based matchmaking, you have to play Rumble, or you have to play whatever the rotator is that week, which is not Clash all the time. If it was Clash every week, it'd be great. If Clash was a permanent playlist, that would be great. But anyways, the thing is that Bungie, they don't really have a clear direction, I don't think, of what they want the game to go in. You can voice your concerns all you want on Twitter to the community managers, to DMG, to whoever. 9 times out of 10, it largely feels like it's being ignored. And a lot of the outcries from a lot of the hardcore players, the people like me who have thousands upon thousands of hours, it's frustrating to see that our feedback goes out the window. It's we're not asking for a whole lot. We're just asking for even some more clarification on why things get nerfed. For example, Eager Edge, right? They nerfed it because it was quote unquote breaking mechanics or allowing players to skip mechanics. You can skip things without the need of Eager Edge. You don't need Eager Edge to be able to do things like that. Number one, you can just you can do it with a regular sword. It's not a. It didn't need to be nerfed. It feels like Bungie is actively trying to destroy the fun stuff that we have. All of the things that provide their game with a skill gap just get nerfed into the ground because it's not quote unquote accessible. That is what it feels like the game is moving towards. It's moving towards a direction where everything has to be accessible to everybody at the cost of the game having any amount of difficulty. If you want to just cheese activities, you throw on 100 resilience and you just walk into an activity and you never die, right? It's frustrating because me and my friends, we all want this game to be good. We love this game. There is not a shadow of a doubt that we do not want this game to, go in a negative direction. We want the game to be good, but as seasons go by, as DLCs come out, it feels like our opinion is less and less reflected. Feels like our time investment is less and less reflected. Feels like everything that we have to do is a chore, and anything past doing a raid within the first 24 hours is boring because there's nothing to do post that raid because there's no difficulty. The only difficulty you can spot is doing day one contest. So it's frustrating to see. And then, time investment, again, I'll bring it up, is something that, again, we have nothing to show for it, right? You might have, oh, hey, I went flawless and got this cool adept gun that is going to sit in my vault because it's not a pulse rifle. Or I got this cool shotgun, but because it's a shotgun, my pellets are going to miss 9 times out of 10, and I'm going to lose my gunfight at close range. It feels like Bungie has become tone deaf to their hardcore player base, and it feels like the game's just gonna continue going downhill. That's why a lot of my friends and I, we've started trying to pick up other games. I have a few friends that are gonna grind heavily in Overwatch 2 now that that's out. I know a couple of my friends, and me personally, I'm going back to playing Lost Ark full time, things like that. Trying to find games that are rewarding for your time investment and that aren't necessarily always in a state of, unsure of what the game's identity is or what it wants to be. Because it feels like Bungie is taking their movement-based, fast-paced, first-person shooter with space magic and turning it into easy mode. You stand there, you don't die, or in PvP's case, you stay at the very far back of the map with a pulse rifle and you win. You don't have to try and play aggressive, and you don't have to try and do anything. So, I guess that's it for this rant. I don't know. That's what I'll call it. I'll call it a rant. But thank you guys for watching. Follow my socials links below, and I'll see you guys next time.